Thank you very much. It's nice to see all of you here. Thank you for Nazarbayev University TEDxWomen platform to assembling all of us here today to raise some important issues and to open up some new ideas and to induce lively and dynamic discussions on these issues. I'm going to discuss today the issue of gender-related microaggressions. Well, have you ever experienced it saying someone that you should be more ladylike, or you look prettier when you smile, or you have to be more feminine? So this kind of coveted, nuanced, ambiguous sexism related to microaggressions. Gender-related microaggression is a form of discrimination and sexism. Seemingly innocent, these transgressions, also known as microaggressions, are intentional or unintentional actions or comments directed against the person who is usually part of marginalized group, and these kind of actions signal disrespect and inequality towards these people. Gender-related microaggression can also contribute to imposter syndrome. So this is the feeling that you are not good enough. You are not qualified enough for your job position. This is the constant feeling of being under pressure that you have to validate, you have to prove your professional skills, your abilities, your education. So it could happen despite the fact that you are on your position purely on merit. Also, gender-related microaggression can contribute in silencing women, in questioning their abilities or themselves, or decreasing their self-esteem. All these kind of factors can negatively affect on women's mental health, overall well-being. So in order to understand properly what is a gender-related microaggression, it is important to understand what sexism is. Sexism is prejudice and the discrimination based on one's gender. Everybody can affect it. Whilst primarily women and the girl can be affected by it, but men and the boys can also be subjected on it. This idea based on the main gender roles or prejudice that one gender is intrinsically superior to another. Sexist behaviors can also identify one gender as inferior, and these kind of beliefs can impact on policies that can diminish one gender's freedom of action, freedom of choice. So there should be identified different types of sexism, such as hostile, benevolent, or ambivalent sexism. Hostile sexism relates to attitude or behaviors that are openly hostile for some group of people based on their gender. Misogyny, hatred of women, the hatred of women, some examples of hostile sexism. Other example can include making inappropriate, aggressive comment on one's appearance based on their gender, or another example can include believing that victims of sexual assault can ask for it due to their appearance or due to their behavior. Benevolent sexism can apply some positive traits of being woman, the femininity, but still it considers that one gender is weaker than another. And these kind of beliefs can impact on policies that can diminish some genders' rights of freedom of action. Ambivalent sexism is combination of benevolent and hostile sexism. So people who are engaged in ambivalent sexism can treat women differently women can be identified as nice and innocent in some way, or she can be identified as manipulative or deceitful, depending on the situation. So, despite the fact that starting from 60s, 70s, organizations and lawmakers implemented different kind of policies to diminish, to decrease level of gender-related discrimination, still women speak up about sexual harassment, different kind of gender-related limitations, and still on the rise, these issues. One of the proof of that is the research conducted by the German Ministry of Family Affairs, which revealed that approximately 67% of women in Germany have experienced some type of sexual harassment and gender-related discrimination in their surrounding. So how gender-related microaggression look like? It can be inappropriate comments about one's appearance based on their gender. It can be staring inappropriately in someone's body. Another example can include mistaking seniority. What does it mean? Women are assumed to have less senior positions compared to their male counterpart. Starting from 80s, for example, in the United States, females started to obtain more university degrees compared to male, but still only 18% of them are represented on the senior high positions with higher wage. The same in 2020, only 27% of board members and the CEO positions in major organizations of European Union countries were occupied by female representatives, according to European Institute of Gender Equality. Yeah. The same situation can be seen, the same trend is in Kazakhstan. Despite that half of the graduates and the degree holders in our country are female, and only, for example, 27% of parliament have female representatives. Recently, Kazakhstan ranked 65th place in Global Gender Gap Index. And comparing to other Central Asian countries, it has some prominent progresses in diminishing gender gaps. But still, in our society, women are poorly represented on senior positions, and they have still problems in achieving their career goals. So how gender-related microaggressions look like? You should be more ladylike. You should smile more. Don't raise your voice. Don't speak up. This kind of gendered expectations put some extra demand on women and requiring her to behave in a specific way and limiting her capacities, her performance. Why don't you want to have children? Why don't you want to get married? Assuming that every woman wants to have children or wants to get married, and being judged by prioritizing other aspects of her life, such achieving her career goals, for example. She is so bossy. She is too confident. She is not nice. So signaling that woman who has a leading position or who is confident on their role is some problematic woman. So gender-related microaggressions are considered to be one of the barriers in women career advancement. One of the reasons for continued gender discrimination is the fact that gender discrimination has some covert. It has some other nuanced types that is becoming difficult to identify and to detect them now. So old-fashioned blatant form of prejudice, so-called over-discrimination, now moved to covert nuanced type of gender discrimination, which is related to microaggressions. So all this latest research emphasized the importance of creating effective tools to identify microaggressions at workplace. Not only identify, but also facilitate better understanding of challenges that women are facing at these workplaces, and to creating some effective mechanisms to prevent them. So we are responsible not to act in a discriminatory way, or whether consciously or unconsciously. So taking some positive micro-affirmative actions, providing support and comfort for any individual, creating some positive behavior can create gender-inclusive society and to help diminish gender-related microaggressions. This is end of my speech. Thank you for your attention. Stay healthy and happy.